to the Valvoline Pro Series for race 6 of 20 at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. I'm your host, whoever the fuck, and I'm alone for now. I don't know if I'm going to have a partner in the booth, but we'll figure that out shortly. So as we're watching the fastest car in practice right now, Aaron Douglas, who was in the booth earlier, and then he decided that he wanted to go out and drive the car, and now he's put it up P1 on the practice board. Everybody in the FARCA broadcast team is happy for him. We're hoping that this is going to translate well into a performance for the rest of the night. Some changes. Following last week, we saw an incident between Brendan Berg and Eugene Hawk on pit. Not Eugene Hawk. Who's the guy we just banned? I'm told that was Mitchell DeYoung. So Mitchell DeYoung has been removed from the series, and his car has been retired. Brendan Berg has been moved to Manco Motorsports, so he's now driving the 44 car. See him on pit road right here, making some adjustments. They currently scored 16th place. Alfred Dunn's lost his primary sponsor, so now the Manco team is just sporting their usual colors, that Manco blue. We have a third teammate, Carson Scott. You see here. Our point leader is Jeff Cannon by 43 points over the 2 car, which is a sister car to that team. See the 77 of Arthur Xavier back there. That car belongs to Nexus Racing, and making a big debut in the VPS series this week as well. Eugene Hawk is racing now for Spire Motorsports. It's been announced that they will be departing RPM at the end of the season to go and head up the Spire Motorsports Premier Series program. So Spire is just trying to get Eugene Hawk some experience, trying to get them used to some of their equipment. This is not going to be how they're performing for the rest of the season. This is just a temporary. It's a new car. They're new hires. They're trying to get acclimated. Their teammate, of course, is Pietro Fittipaldi in the 7 car. There's Pietro. So Pietro, let's see. I believe he is in the middle of the pack. He might be top 10 on the points. Let's go take a look at that before we get situated and see all the qualifying. Pietro is 15th in points right now, and it was expected them to make a jump from there, but they still don't have the parts that they were hoping to get, the upgrades they were looking for. So that should be coming soon, especially in the September month. They feel they will get the upgrades that they've been looking for. There's a general sense of encouragement and excitement out of the Spire Motorsports group. And then Rick Ware Racing has also announced that they intend to go Cup racing next season. They don't know with what driver, but they have purchased their first parts for the Premier Series. They will not be running any races this season. They're using the VPS to try to get some resources built up. It's not going quite their way so far, as they just lost all their primary sponsorship on both cars. See them sporting all black looks this week. And it's Jack Wood for Reckless Racing. Reckless Racing still has not brought any upgrades to their cars yet this season. But so we're hoping that their drivers can get through what might be a tough weekend. Now Pat Ware is currently scored 8th as he comes in for final adjustments. That will be the end of practice. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And the VPS series is under the lights at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, home of jazz. And I want to remind you to drink responsibly, but when you don't feel so responsible, drink Big Machine Vodka. It'll get you right in the mood rather quickly for all your mischievous needs. been a lot of talk about what the Revolution's Pro Motorsport team is going to do. They have been planning on scaling back to one car for all the season, for the whole season so far. But it was announced this morning that there's going to be a equipment cap on the Premier Series. So it makes more sense to announce it now rather than wait until the closing stages of the season. So RPM will be moving to one car, and they feel like it'll be the best car from this season. So at the moment, it's down to Bledsoe and McAdoo, but they certainly feel like Makoto Kino is going to give them a run for their money. Eugene Hawk is he suffered so far at the start of the season in the Premier Series, and so they felt like it was time to let him to just approach other teams, because they don't really know if they're going to be able to get the 3-car into the postseason. So they've announced his move to Spire, takes him off the board. So it just depends on whether or not 2 other drivers can decide for RPM and find new teams, or if they're going to let it play out and see which of the drivers can make it to the end on top. So qualifying has concluded, and we have another Douglas brother on pole once again. This has been a theme all year so far across the series. Adam Douglas is on pole this time with John Wes Arndt to his outside. Arndt is on a 3-race streak of starting on the front row. He had 2 straight poles, and this week he's got a 2nd place starting spot. Alright, so here we are. We'll take you through our rundown of the field, our standings to start the race. We have Adam Douglas and John Arndt on the front row, as mentioned. And then in row number 2, we have Dylan Touchton with Cody Erickson. There we go. Cody Erickson is driving for Red Bull TXS Racing, that number 6 AlphaTauri Toyota Supra, to the outside of Dylan Touchton. Touchton's still in SKF sponsorship. They're rather happy with how the season started so far out of that 20 camp for iReal Motorsports. Behind them, we have Alfred Dunn. This is Dunn's best starting spot to date out of the 43 camp. They did get their upgrades for this weekend. They feel like they are going to have a group of really fast race cars, and so they're very happy to get it started off in the top 5. To the outside is Russ Blackwell, another one of the Rebel TXS cars, and then there's Tor Gunderson to the inside of Mike Wallace, and Chris Davis and Carson Scott rounded out the top 10. It's good for them, especially Chris Davis wants to be on that inside. They've had quite a good string of qualifying runs to begin their VPS racing. So behind them, we have Jeff Cannon, our point leader, to the inside of Aaron Douglas. Aaron Douglas in that 12 car is going to start 12th. That's very good for them, very 12 of them. Behind them, we have Justin Franklin and Austin Yoakum. And then Nick Fountain and Rick Johnson, Brad Smith, Arthur Xavier in the 77 car's first start. Behind them, we have Brendan Berg in the 44 car to the inside of Nessa Johnson, then J.J. Yaley and Scott Vickers. Then now at Pat Wary and Brandon Crasta, who just got penalized in the Truck Series. Brandon Crasta said that he's hoping for another penalty. He wants to get as many penalties as possible. It's his new mission to go throughout the rest of this week in the 63 car. And then, so it's the first time that he's pulling triple duty too. So three series, 363 cars, and he's hoping for 3 penalties. Behind him, Kyle Fowler and Brent Cruz. It's the worst starting spot for the Trackhouse camp. They're going to try to fix that going forward. Of course, they're starting in front of an all-Spire row, the 77 car and the 7. This being Eugene Hawk and Pietro Fittipaldi. Behind them, Bailey Curry and Jack Wood. And then rounding out the field, we have Miguel Reyes and James Davison. look at the booth. Jim Rando, how do you feel about the race so far?
Well, I feel like we're going to see a lot of drivers with a lot of very different personalities trying to get to the front of the pack. And we're going to see some unique racing here at Nashville Speedway on this little short track in Tennessee.
Well, all right. Thanks, Jim, for that relatively interesting insight. Final preparations are going away to get the race started. Tell the drivers to get their asses in the car so we can get going. Alright, and we're moving. We are moving, we are. Pace car has decided to fuck on out of the pit road. Turns it over to the 17 car in the 05. We're gonna have 2 of them damn pace laps before we get going on the race here. It's gonna be the battle of who can possibly make it through these 90 laps.
Well, you know, when you come to Nashville, you expect to find some speed here, you know, and you want to make sure you're on the inside line as much as possible. You see these a lot of really fast cars that are stuck on the outside line right there, and it's going to end up causing some strategies. Just trying to find a way down to the inside. Expect some beating and biting here.
Yeah, we certainly do, Jim. Very nice input there. We should have one to go here, since it takes Jim so long to speak. Here we go. Pace car is down there on the inside, and we're going to get this damn thing underway. In the restart zone, 17 car fires off, and we are going. Damn, Jim, you might be a little bit smart. See the 05 car slam his way into the inside line, cuts off the 20 car. So John West Arndt's going to be able to fill into the second place. Going to try to catch up to the 17. Torque Anderson is also found his way to the inside lane. So the big group of cars here still working and fighting. Torque Anderson is up and away. See, one of the Alpha Tower cars has managed to get to the inside. It's the 3 car of Blackwell. Meanwhile, up front, no one's really been able to close in on anybody up front. So these 4 cars breaking away. Chevrolets going to chase one forward. Meanwhile, at the back of the grid, so the 51 car is falling victim to the 24, Jack Wood. Back up front, we have Adam Douglas leading John Arndt and Dylan Touchton still. Alfred Dunn in 4th. Back there, you see Torque Anderson in front of Chris Davis. Chris Davis is just trying to pump along, trying to see if he can catch up to the 1 car. Maybe get to his inside. Things are kind of settling down pretty quickly here, except for right here. We got the 42. Fighting with Jeff Cannon, our point leader, as well as the 2 car Brad Smith. Brad Smith is, of course, second in points, so this is very important right here. The 2 car is going to want to try to do everything he can to get in front of the 92 car. Still, there's plenty of races left to go in the season, but every point is going to matter before we get to the playoffs. You see the 77 car. Arthur Xavier is trying to get really close up to the 2 cars bumper. See if he can get him loose, push him up the racetrack a little bit. So now Pat Larry has managed to make up 6 spots since his original starting spot, working through the 3 wide of the 83 and the 56. The 77 of Arthur Xavier, getting up into the 14th spot. Still trying to hold off the 44 Brendan Berg. Berg's going to try to use the inside line to get into turn number 1. Doesn't quite have space to get underneath the 77 car. Eugene Hawk has made up a little bit of pace since the start of the race. He's gotten up to 23rd. Justin Franklin has lost 11 spots from his original starting position. Could be something going on with the 09 car. See him sliding in on the sideline finally. So here's James Davison working at the bottom. This is for 30th place, trying to find a way around Kyle Fowler. Just not quite having the night that they were hoping to have. See, the leaders are getting rather close to them now. Dylan Touchton is starting to work ever so closer to the 05 car of John Arndt. Touchton still isn't quite able to get up to the 05. Field is rather mellow this time out at the Nashville Fairgrounds. 54 Chris Davis is trying to box out the 3 car. He's trying to defend against 2 teammates here. The 2 TXS racing cars are trying to team up on the 54. While Austin Yoakum, who is 3rd in points at the moment, and in front of both the 92 and the 2 car, starting to make up more places. Yoakum started with a very strong first 2 races, had a good point lead, but then the 92 car just had such a good string of races up to this point. So now we'll see here, Dylan Touchton is falling victim to the 43 car. Alfred Dunn looking to the inside of Dylan Touchton now, and he's going to try to get 2 for 1 as he goes into turn number 1 here. It's just going to be able to get the 20 for now. The 05 is next. Touchton is still giving the 43 car some kind of hell, trying to hold him up. Dylan was trying to get into 3rd position. It just isn't going to quite go his way. The more he hangs up on the outside, the more he's going to use his tires. Got a really good run off of 2 that time. Crawford still isn't quite able to clear the 20. This is allowing the 1 and the 54 to close in on them both. But at this point, Dylan Touchin's going to do everything he can to hold off the 43, because if he loses that spot, they're going to just run a train on him on the inside.
Hi, Ben.
Ed's cars are doing so well. So Dylan Touchin is able to get back into third place over the 43 car. As you see, the 51 of James Davison has fallen a lap down. Car continues to lead as the 05 is now under fire from the 20, but he's going to have to give that spot up as the 51 car is going to be right in his lane. So it looks like John Arndt, now that he's been able to hold off the 20 car, who's now under fire from the 43 yet again. The 05 is caught up to the 17 as Adam Douglas works on Jack Wood. The 05 of John Arndt's going to try to sneak on in here and get some more laps led. He's led the most laps in the season so far. Got a leg up on the 17 car. He's going to be able to clear him. The 17 is going to try to have a crossover here. He's not going to be able to complete it though. The 05 car's led another lap. 17's got it way back in deep in the corner to try to get the 05. Some good racing further back for other positions. The 17's reclaimed the lead. See, Thor Gunderson is trying to hold off the 54 car. The vegan ghost car. John Arndt is back to the lead over the 17. The 17 is really trying to pinch the 05, trying to get him off of the way of the 24. Really good battle for the lead shaping up between these two. 17's got it back over the 05. While further back, the one car's had a bit of an issue that's caused them to fall a little bit of a ways. See, Austin Yoakum is now in 9th place.
Let's see if we can break that freaking streak.
Yeah.
We're gonna be some serious fire.
Yeah, definitely. The 05 car is just trying to hammer it in there.
That he does. Out of the inside of Apple's Ford.
This is shaping up to be a really good battle between the two of them. Arndt's got a good size gap now He struggled to get off the turn number 4. The 17's going to reel him back in using the outside lane.
Now he'll join the high side.
John's going to get held up a little bit by the 24 car. Jack's got a little bit of pace, but just not enough to get away from the 2 leaders. The 24 car is really fighting hard to stay on lead lap just in case something happens. The 17 got really tight in the center of the corner. Crowded the 05. Arndt slips up off the corner, and that's going to allow the 17 car to push into turn number 3. 17's got a little bit of an advantage now, even though he has to deal with the 24. The 17 car is still trying to find a way to box out the 05 for this race lead. The 24 car is going to get really loose off the corner. This is the best opportunity the 17's had to be able to get by him. Just can't quite make the deal work. While other cars are starting to get rather closer to the leaders, as Dylan Touchton is going to try to get past the 05 car here. The 1 car falls another lap down. Dylan Touchton's going to go to the outside of the 51 car. The 05 is going to try to remount a charge to go and get the 17. And he's there immediately. John Arndt has gone to the back bumper of the 17 car. Car Dylan Touchton has gotten clear of the lap traffic. As you see, the 05 is now going to go to the inside. Adam Douglas. Oh, he's going to get caught behind the 24. So now Adam Douglas has been able to clear Jack Wood. He can move on from the Reckless Racing Chevrolet. Meanwhile, Dylan Touchton's going to try to get to work on the 05 car. And Dylan Touchton's got John cleared for second place. Dylan's going to try to get past the 24 car as quick as possible to have any chance of going to get the 17. But Douglas is going to try to put as many lap cars between himself and second place as possible to try to close this one out. Now working on the 52 car of Bailey Curry. Austin Yoakum has made it up to the 5th spot now. He's up 9 places from his original starting spot. He's passed Alfred Dunn. Nick Fountain is up 6 spots from his original starting position to get into 9th. Ghost Energy Toyota Supra. Brad Smith's been trying to get through the field. It's just not quite going his way. He's seeing the 92 just in front of him, but still every place that he finishes behind the 92 are valuable points. He seems to get really loose into turn number 1. There's a whole group of cars right in front of him. This is just a mess. Nick Fountain is clearly benefiting from this, being able to pick them up one at a time. Arthur Xavier is up to the 15th spot. Nexus Racing Ford Mustang. Biggest loser at the moment is between Aaron Douglas and Justin Franklin. They just don't have the pace that they were expecting. They had good qualifying positions, but from there, it just hasn't quite gone their way.
That seems to be Aaron's trend no matter what series he races in. Really strong in qualifying and just can't seem to have any race pace.
Yeah, it's been a common theme between the Douglas brothers. Meanwhile, Adam Douglas is here. 30 laps to go. He's trying to put a lap on Brandon Crasta. Crasta looks like he's just going to move over and let the 17 car go. John Hart is back into 2nd place. As Alfred Dunn's now moved into 3rd. Over the 20. Really having to fight hard with the 52 car, but Bailey Curry can't really get into the corners very good, but he sure gets off of them really well. Dunn's got a clear advantage over the 20 car now. Expect to see Dylan Touchton drop to the bottom, and he does. So the 43 car has moved up into the 3rd position, and now Dylan Touchton is going to try to chase him down.
Good to see that 43 car actually has just some success tonight. Doesn't even have a full sponsorship on that car. Showing around tonight.
Yeah, they lost their Vivitar sponsorship at the end of Auto Club last weekend. They didn't have performance to start the season, and the second that they did have good cars, it's just one race too late for them. We saw Manco Motorsports excel on the short tracks in the Cup Series last season. Looks like that success is going to translate into the VPS Series. While a little bit further back, the 4 car is continuing to fight with those around him. Yeah.
And it was actually going to be quite a close battle there for a while between 1st and 3rd. And Adam has now extended this lead out to almost 4 seconds and climbing rapidly fast because he doesn't have that lap traffic to deal with right now.
Yes, the 17 car has got a clear sailing now. We saw a really good battle between him and the 05 car, and it just seems like lap traffic got the better of John Arndt.
Well, not to get a little too far ahead of ourselves, Adam had that lead up to 3.6 seconds, and after John got clear, that immediately dropped to 2.9, so maybe he still has a car that can catch up and fight.
Yeah, there are still 2 lap cars left between the 05 and the 17 for right now, but with 22 laps to go, 21 now, there might not be enough time. The 43 car has gotten clear of the 20. The 20 is still stuck behind a couple lap cars. The 20 cars had so many issues with the 24, and Jack Wood has once again gotten in front of the 20. So it looked like Jack Wood probably had a car that was capable of competing up front, just couldn't get a good qualifying position. It really hurt them this week. 54 of Chris Davis in the 5th position. Meanwhile, up front, the gap is now down to 2.5 seconds, but I believe John Arndt's gotten up to the 99 to Brent Cruz. So that might just end the comeback for the 05 car. 17 of Change It Racing works around the 26 of JGL Racing. And then there's the 5 for Reckless Racing, the 70 for Spire Motorsports. Gene Hawk currently running in 24th position. This is a brand new car for Spire.
Adam now stuck behind lap traffic. This is exactly what John wanted to see.
Yeah, but it's just likely going to be too late for the 05 car. There's quite a bit of lap traffic between him and the 17 still, so...
Yeah, he's currently struggling trying to pass Trackhouse's Brent Cruz.
Adam Douglas is probably just thinking about what bar he's going to go to after this.
I mean, if I was Adam, I'd go to Toots Orchid Lounge. I don't know about you.
After all of the luck that they've had in the Cup Series so far this season, I imagine that if they're able to close this out, the party's going to be massive.
The lead extending as John struggles to continue to pass the Trackhouse team.
A little bit of a revised livery on the 99 car this week.
Should keep it within Trackhouse boundaries. Good.
To be honest, I just didn't finish it, so I just went back and finished it. That's all it is. It's Alfred Dunn in 3rd place. Who would have thought? Alfred Dunn was pushed out of the Cup Series, right, taken over by Zach McAdoo, and so he was moved to the Manco Racing's VPS program. Struggled heavily once again to start the season, but Manco Racing has decided to stick with him. It's expected that Manco's going to go Cup Racing once again next season with Alfred Dunn, since Sammy Cobb is pretty settled in at Nexus Racing, I would say, following that win.
Might be able to enter into Ford Camp's eligibility for the Cup Series next season, but tryout.
You wouldn't want to just keep him in the 77?
No, he has to try and compete. VPS can be revolving. Cup Series is where they need a talent.
Yeah. But they for sure have it. I mean, he's a race winner now in the Premier Series. See 8 laps to go for Adam Douglas.
Just wild, though, for that team.
Yeah, especially to think where Nexus was last season.
Past 2 seasons.
Yeah. A lot of traffic for the 05 car. This might allow the 43 to actually catch up to the 05. We might end up with a good race for second.
Kept trying the outside for many, many laps. Now he's still trying to clear Brent Cruz on this inside. It's just not going to happen. And as soon as I say that, it happens.
Car Eugene Hawk was put a lap down. There's 4 laps to go now. Got me all combobulated. That was hilarious. For the 17 car, Change It Racing, Innovative Fuel Technologies, Ford Mustang. Adam Douglas is sitting 4th in points. Wasn't really somebody that we expected to have a good points run this season, because Change It Racing was just going to try to build their parts, build their funds, and try to grow into a good team in future seasons. So for them to have this success and this quickly is a huge statement out of that team. While John Les Arndt is going to be able to keep Alfred Dunn at bay, there are 2 laps to go now between these lead lap drivers. The first one lead lap is Adam Douglas, last one lead lap is Aaron Douglas. Because Aaron might have a chance to go and get the 77 car, but it's been the 17 car the whole race. A little bit of a challenge from the 05 car, but not good enough for the 17, who starts first. 05 starts second. They have an epic battle in the middle of the race, but when it's all said and done, Adam Douglas will come out of turn number 4 to win his first race in the VPS series in over 10 years.
He's been needing that this season. He has had such bad luck in all 3 series to finally cap it off and put it in victory lane at a prestigious racetrack, racing for a new team.
And it looks like Alfred Dunn was able to get past John Les Arndt last second for the 2nd spot, so that's good for Alfred Dunn. John Les Arndt finishes 3rd, Dylan Tushton 4th, Chris Davis 5th. Russ Blackwell finished 6th in the 3 car, Nick Fountain in 7th, Cody Erickson in 8th. Then your point leader Jeff Cannon finishes 9th. Brendan Berg rounds out the top 10, so it's a very good run for them. 2 car Brad Smith ended up having a horrible run late, falls to 18th spot. So it's not looking all too good for them. So we'll get this going, see what kind of penalties we might be facing here. Just a few moments to make sure that everybody gets scored officially.
Hurry up! He and Carter got an F1.
Just do it online, like we did last night.
No, we want to do it here.
Nah, sorry. Y'all suck.
We can get Ben on, maybe. I think Ben's at work, though.
We don't exit out of this. The only penalty this week is going to go to Miguel Reyes, who has been disqualified for 2+ loose lug nuts.
Is that disqualification?
Yeah, he did not finish 32nd. James Davison did.
Yeah. Okay. Something fell in the booth. Don't worry about it.
That'll get repaired for next week. I want to thank everybody for tuning in.
Oh my God, it's a dildo.
What? You alright? Got some issues there, buddy. So I want to congratulate Adam Douglas for winning at Nashville.
Yeah, congrats, Adam. You got a good looking beard here, looking rather dapper. Are your eyes okay?
Oh yeah, they're great. Rick, the next road course is going to be in a couple weeks. There's been we amended the schedule to we replaced one of these tracks. Let me see which one it was. If it was USA or wrong series.
I got it. Oh yeah. Barber, and that'll be
Yeah. So the USA Speedway has been changed to sabering. So next week the VPS series is actually going to road course, and then there's Bullring the week after, and then we go to Barber after that.
I believe there's still a couple more as well. I think we're going to Watkins Glen. Yes, there it is, Watkins Glen.
Yeah, and then the VPS series goes to the Roval at Charlotte.
So they still have 3 road courses. The other series only has about 1 or 2, I think.
Yeah, but it'd be great to get you in, Rick.
Yeah, we've been working hard to try and find a bunch of the classic guys to get them back to the site. We've got quite a few this season, so more the merrier.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get as many of the old URD guys back in as possible. Get it back to the old days. Thank everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Rick said he's in for the Glen race. So.
Sweet, all right.
Alright, so see you guys. So actually, we'll be here tomorrow night for the Premier Series, of course. So the Cup Series will be racing next week. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow night.